Level 1. The unemployed. You are 18 years old, eating Cheerios at 4 p.m. at your mom's kitchen table, having just woken up. You spent the entire night playing RuneScape until 7 a.m. You graduated high school in June with a B- average. You did not enroll in community college because the application required 2 essays and you did not write them, which is something you describe at family functions as taking a year to figure things out. You have applied to 9 jobs since graduation. You have heard back from 0. You owe your uncle $800 from a loan he has started bringing up at every gathering in a tone he insists is friendly. Your mom's shifts at the hospital got cut last month. The rent is due in 11 days. You have $42 in your bank account. You download DoorDash on a Tuesday because there is a TikTok of a man in a rented BMW saying you can make $1,200 a week. Marcus, who graduated valedictorian and came home from his sophomore year at State to grind for the summer, signs up the same week. His parents paid off his car. Yours has a check engine light older than the relationship you do not have. Your bank account, $42. Level 2. The new delivery driver. Your first night you accept every order the app shows you because you do not understand yet that the app is not your friend. There is an order for $3.50. The pickup is listed at 1.8 miles away, which is accurate if you measure door to door and ignore the parking structure, the one-way system, and the fact that the restaurant's actual entrance is on a side street your GPS treats as a suggestion. You find it in 22 minutes. The bag is not warm when you pick it up. The customer gives you 2 stars and does not explain why, though you could explain it for them. You are not asked. By month 2, you understand the difference between an order that makes sense and one that is dressed like one. You know which McDonald's in the city handles delivery pickups efficiently and which one will strand you at the counter for 25 minutes, while a manager ignores everyone equally. You have developed strong opinions about restaurant pickup windows. You are 18 years old with strong opinions about restaurant pickup windows. This is your life now. Marcus is in the same McDonald's lot on a Wednesday. You are eating a Mac Double you bought yourself because you forgot to budget for food. He has a thermal bag, a windshield mount, and a power bank charging 2 phones at once. You have 1 phone at 63% and a Mac Double wrapper. He nods. You nod. You do not discuss the 2 phones. 2 phones means 2 accounts, which means twice the order flow during peak hours, which means he has already figured out something you have not, and is not going to mention it. Marcus posts on Instagram a quote about discipline over a photo of his thermal bag. He has 812 followers. You have 91, 3 of which are bots. You read it twice anyway. The caption says, in part, that most people are not built for this. You spend 4 minutes wondering whether he is right, and then accept an order at Wingstop that turns out to take 40 minutes because the kitchen forgot the order. So maybe. Your mom asks how it is going. You say good. You hand her $200 in cash 3 weeks in. She does not ask further questions. You stop volunteering details. Your bank account at the end of month 2, $212. Level 3. The multi-apper. By month 9 you are running DoorDash, Uber Eats and Grubhub simultaneously, and the skill is not volume, it is timing. Reading 2 pickup windows against each other so you can route through 1 restaurant and stop at Bananas, without either order going cold and without either platform detecting that your attention is divided. Nobody teaches you this. You figure it out the way everyone figures it out, which is by doing it wrong twice and never doing it wrong again. You now own 3 thermal bags. You have preferences about which one handles soup. You have explained this preference to no one, because there is nobody in your life who would find it interesting, which is a sentence you have noticed and stopped noticing because it is 11:30 p.m. in a Wendy's parking lot and you have a granola bar. The money is real, $1,200 to $1,500 gross in a good week. You give your mom $300 a month. You meet a girl at a friend's birthday in October, around month 7. Her name is Kayla. She is in nursing school. She thinks your schedule is flexible, which is the most generous possible description of working until 2 a.m. 4 nights a week. Marcus is consistently pulling more than you on the same nights in the same zones, and the gap is not explainable by hours or hustle. He mentions, very casually, that he knows a guy who handles accounts for drivers who cannot get verified on their own. He says it like he is mentioning the weather. You do not ask what that means. He does not bring it up again. You think about it for 2 weeks. There is a thing the platforms do where they warn you about your acceptance rate dropping below a certain threshold. Every driver knows someone who got deactivated. Nobody has ever met that someone. It is a threat that exists purely as background anxiety. You check the percentage before bed every night. This is not a healthy relationship with an app. Kayla starts leaving a plate in the microwave when you get home late. 3rd week running, the plate is covered, which means she stopped waiting up. You eat it standing at 1 a.m. The kitchen is quiet. She is asleep. You tell yourself this is temporary. You have been telling yourself this is temporary for 9 months. Your bank account, $2,400. Marcus is doing something you cannot see. Level 4. The sub-renter. By the start of year 2, you have 2 high school friends driving under accounts you control, splitting the earnings 70-30 in their favor while you handle the coordination. Sub-renting your verified account to drivers who cannot get their own approved is a thing every serious driver has heard about. Most pretend they do not. You are no longer pretending. You find out about Marcus and Kayla on a Thursday during a Shake Shack run, standing in an apartment building lobby waiting for the elevator. The text is from a mutual friend. 2 sentences. No preface. You read it twice. You ride up to the 8th floor, knock on the door, hand over the bag, say have a good night, ride back down, walk to your car, and sit in the parking lot for 9 minutes. Then you open the app and accept 3 orders. This is not a healthy response. It is an extremely efficient one. You will think about the difference much later than you should. Kayla calls at 2 a.m. You let it ring because you are mid-drop-off. You call back 20 minutes later. The conversation is technically civil and means something harder underneath. It does not resolve anything. It ends. You accept 2 more orders. That is how the night ends. You do not call Marcus. You work through morning. By the time you stalk, you have cleared more in one stretch than you have ever cleared, which is information about what you do when you are in pain, and you file it next to everything else you are not currently dealing with. Marcus texts the next afternoon as if it is a normal afternoon. He wants to know if you are free to talk about the account thing. You stare at the text. You say yes. The meeting is in a strip mall parking lot beside a Panda Express. The man with Marcus is Eduardo. Late 30s, polite, drives a clean Camry. Has the particular calm of someone who has explained this exact arrangement many times and found that calm is the most useful thing to bring to it. He offers you a water. He explains without drama. There are drivers who cannot get platform approvals due to background issues. There are already verified accounts available for those drivers to use. There is a coordination role and a fee structure. Eduardo says the word coordination while looking at you, which is how you understand you are not being invited to participate. You are being offered the job. The number he says is more than 2 months of driving. You say yes in a Panda Express parking lot while Marcus stands slightly to the side looking at his phone. That night you sleep 11 hours. Best sleep since the previous June. Your bank account, $8,200. Level 5. The account broker. The money changes shape past a certain size. Below that line you can match it to hours, to cold nights, to a bad shift in the rain that explains the figure. Past it the money stops feeling like anything and becomes a number you manage. You are 19 years old, 18 months out of high school, and you are managing numbers in a spreadsheet you built at 2:30 in the morning. It is the most organized you have ever been in your life. The context is what it is. Eduardo's operation is a matching problem. Drivers who cannot get platform approvals on their own use accounts that are already verified and active. Your job is to coordinate the matches, monitor account health, and resolve problems before they become deactivations. You are precise and reliable, and Eduardo notices both qualities within 2 weeks. The spreadsheet has columns for account status, driver names and first name only, active assignments, and 1 column labeled issues with 11 entries and growing. You built it at 2:30 a.m. It is the most organized document you have ever produced. You find this faintly funny and then stop finding it funny. One of the drivers is a man named Hector, 52, white Corolla, always confirms instructions received. He mentions once, without apparent expectation of a response, that he sends $400 a week to his daughter in Caracas. He says her name. You hear it clearly. You file it somewhere you did not intend to be a filing system for things like this. He asks once if the work is stable long-term. You tell him yes. He nods and does not ask again. You think about that nod more than you think about most things that happen in a given week. Marcus is 6 months ahead of you in this arrangement. He does not act ahead. He acts like you are equal partners, which is a framing that feels fair at the time and will feel like something else in about a year. He did not go back to state in the fall. He told his parents he was taking a gap year. He was not taking a gap year. You have not spoken to Kayla since the Thursday you found out. You have not decided what that silence means. There is always something operational that needs handling, and you have been using that as the reason. It is not a good reason, but it is consistent. Your bank account. $31,000. Cash on hand. Another $14,000. You have stopped looking at the second number when you put it in the safe. Level 6. The crew chief. Year 2.5. There are 30 drivers now. Mostly Venezuelan, mostly men. Ages spread across 3 decades. All of them with people somewhere waiting on money. You know this because you are the person they call when something stops working. And people calling about something that matters tend to say more than the thing they called about. You know Hector's daughter's name. You know Ramon's wife is due in March. You know a man everyone calls Gordo has a brother who has been trying to cross for 14 months. You know all of this, and you do not know what to do with knowing it, so you do nothing. Which turns out to also be a decision. They call you El Coordinador. Nobody officially assigned it. You heard it, and it stuck. It is the most authority anyone has given you, and it came through a parking lot arrangement you can never put in writing. The job requires constant attention because flagged accounts mean lost days mean phone calls, and phone calls mean you need a solution prepared before the driver finishes explaining the problem. You maintain backup accounts staged and ready. You became, over the course of a year, someone who runs contingency systems. You recognize this as a real skill being developed in a genuinely terrible context. You keep developing it anyway. You try logging into your original personal driver account one afternoon for no reason you can name. It has been deactivated for inactivity. Your customer rating was 4.87. You stare at the screen for a moment and close the app. You do not think about it again until a week later when it surfaces in a way you cannot explain. Marcus calls once a week. Brief. Is everything running? Yes. Good. You have not said his name to Kayla since the Thursday, and Kayla, you should mention, has been gone since the spring. She left without drama. She did not leave a forwarding address because she did not need to, and you are not the kind of person, at this point in the story, who would have called it anyway. Eduardo tells you the platforms are running more aggressive pattern reviews. Things need to move faster. He is calm when he says this. You have watched Eduardo long enough to understand that his calm is not the calm of someone who has solved a problem. It is the calm of someone who has arranged for the problem to arrive somewhere other than at him. You say you will handle it. You mean it. Your bank account. Still 31,000. Cash and crypto off the books. North of 100,000. 2 numbers that cannot ever connect on paper. Level 7. The operator. Year 3. You are in a hotel room in a city that is not yours, setting up accounts for a new regional operation. When you realize you have not spoken to your mother in 3 weeks, not because you are avoiding her, because time works differently now. The week is a sequence of tasks that need handling, and none of them include checking in with anyone who has nothing operational to report. 80 drivers across 3 metro areas. The money the network moves weekly is large enough to require its own secondary logistics problem, which you have handed to a man named Rodrigo. He manages the cash side. He takes 8%. You do not know his last name. He does not know yours. Both of you understood from the beginning this was the correct shape for this arrangement. You have not personally delivered a single order in 14 months. On paper, you are still a food delivery driver. The gap between what the paper says and what you actually are is a distance that is going to matter significantly, and soon, though the exact timeline is not yet visible to you. Your mom thinks you are working in tech. You did not tell her this. She decided this herself based on the hours you keep and the fact that you bought her a new phone for her birthday. You did not correct her. You did not say anything. You let her keep the version of the situation that was easiest for her to carry, which is, you have noticed, a thing you do now. One of your drivers is stopped for a traffic warrant in late November. Routine. The officer takes him in. At some point, the officer looks at his phone. The phone has messages referencing a coordinator and describing a payment structure. The officer writes a note. The note moves somewhere you are not tracking. Marcus texts in early December. Just the name of a restaurant in Miami and 1 line about the food. No context. You read it a few times looking for a meaning and decide there is none. You do not reply. You fly to Miami to expand the operation. You pay for the ticket in cash at a kiosk. The TSA agent asks about carry-on liquids over 3 ounces. You say no. He waves you through. This is the least consequential thing currently happening in your life, but it is the moment you will remember with strange clarity later. Hector asks whether the accounts will hold through the holidays. His daughter is expecting extra in December. You tell him yes. You are not certain this is true. But what else do you say to a man whose daughter is waiting on the other end of that money? Your bank account, still $31,000. Off book. A number you have stopped writing down because writing it down feels like leaving evidence. Level 8. The target. 2 agents at 7 in the morning. FBI and postal inspection, which you did not know was a category of federal investigator until this morning. Both in plain clothes. Both professionally polite in a way that is itself a form of information. They have a folder. They say they have some questions and that you are not required to answer, but that answering now could be useful. Delivered with the specific flat tone of people trained to say exactly that and nothing more. You do not answer anything. This is the only correct decision you make today. Your lawyer reads the charges from a printed sheet in a conference room that smells like industrial carpet cleaner. Wire fraud, conspiracy, identity theft, money laundering. She explains each count. She explains sentencing ranges. She explains what cooperating witnesses affect. She uses the word plural. Marcus provided a proffer 3 weeks before they knocked on your door. You learned this from your lawyer. He named names. He described the structure in specific detail. He received a cooperation agreement in return 3 weeks ago. 8 days ago, he sent you a restaurant recommendation in Miami with one line about the ceviche. That was apparently the goodbye, a place you never visited, and nothing further. Most of your drivers have been contacted. Several have cooperated. Hector is in immigration proceedings. The $400 a week has stopped moving to Caracas. This is a sentence with nothing attached to it. It just sits there. Eduardo is unreachable. Rodrigo's number disconnects. The spreadsheet you built at 2:30 a.m., the most organized thing you have ever made, exists now only inside a file belonging to other people. You open your contacts and scroll. Almost everyone in it is someone you cannot call right now. Your lawyer says the next 30 days are the decision window. After that, the government's position hardens and options narrow. You nod as if absorbing this efficiently. You are not. Your bank account. Frozen. Lawyer's retainer. $15,000 paid in cash from a gym bag. She accepted the bag without comment, which is its own data point. Level 9. The defendant. The arrest is a scheduled surrender. Your lawyer arranges the date. You show up, it proceeds. No handcuffs outside your building. Nobody watching. It is a calendar appointment that you kept, and keeping it is the most organized thing you have done in months, which is its own comment on the months. Your phone is logged as evidence at intake. The officer gives you a printed receipt. Your DoorDash driver account is still installed on it. Your customer rating is listed in the case file as 4.87. The phone is tagged Exhibit C and placed in a bag, and that is the last you see of it. The final notification it received before being bagged was a promotional message from DoorDash, informing you that the weekend surge window is approaching and now is a great time to get on the road. The plea is 1 count of wire fraud, 30 months federal, asset forfeiture covering identified proceeds, accounts, and devices. You signed the paperwork in a room that smells identical to the conference room where you first learned about Marcus's proffer, and you notice this but say nothing because there is no one to say it to. Hector was deported in February. His daughter is still in Caracas. You know this through the case file. The $400 a week stopped in November. There is nothing attached to that sentence. It just sits there the way some things do. Marcus received a misdemeanor and a fine. He has, according to someone who knows someone, started a logistics consulting firm. There is a website, a professional headshot. He looks well in the headshot. You are standing in the courthouse parking lot after the hearing. The phone is gone. The drivers, the accounts, Eduardo, Rodrigo, the hotel rooms in other cities, all of it exists now only inside documents belonging to other people. A DoorDash driver passes on a bike, thermal bag across his back, phone mounted on the handlebars. The exact same setup Marcus had in the MC Donald's parking lot 4 years ago, the night you were eating a McDouble you paid for yourself and watching someone you thought had figured something out. You watch until the bike turns the corner. You have a report date and a conditions list your lawyer printed on 2 pages. Your bank account. 0. Asset forfeiture identified $340,000 in proceeds. The IRS will be in touch separately. That is what there is now. If this video stayed with you, like and comment below. Subscribe for more.